Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. Jacalyn. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. Jacalyn at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Loving Longevity here at USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and it's a fabulous Friday here in New Jersey in the United States of America. I hope wherever you are, whether it's Friday or Saturday, we're just thrilled to have you with us. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, USA Global TV. We have 26 shows on average each and every week, and that's going to 35 very quickly. So strap on your seatbelt and take a ride with us. All right, back to the program. Welcoming my co-host and friend. She is a holistic longevity strategist and the brainchild behind this program. Let's welcome Annie Bush. Hello, Annie.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone who's joining us today.
It's nice to see you. I feel that I need to get out in the sun. I don't know. You look so healthy and glowing. I look like Casper the Ghost.
That's because I do get outside, and I think you just stay in the studio all day long.
All day, every day.
All day.
But I love what I'm doing, and I know you love what you're doing too. So, and you brought another fabulous guest. We're going to be bringing her out. But before we do, as you know, we're always bringing new people. We're now on TuneIn Radio, in addition to all of the other TV channels and radio channels and podcast opportunities for people. They want to know, what is loving longevity and why should we care?
Oh my gosh, loving longevity is just about embracing life. I just had some discussions with folks today, and even from the time of the Bible, we were designed to last 120 years, but we don't have that mindset right now. So this program is about shifting the paradigm, changing the conversation from mortality to one of longevity. And let's shoot for that 120 years. And we're going to do it with really, really optimal health. And my title as holistic longevity strategist just encompasses everything that I've learned about health and wellness for the last decade. I started out as a personal trainer, health coach, certified brain health coach. And now I wish that I knew then what I know now about genetics. Your genetics are your blueprint that basically was your divine design is what your DNA is. And I believe when somebody comes out of the hospital, they should come out with the birth certificate in one hand and their genetics in the other, so that you would know from the time you were born what foods you were designed to eat, what exercises your body was put together to do, how much sleep you need, what nutrients you need. Your DNA report, and I'm a certified genetics consultant with 3x4 Genetics. Your genetic report is going to answer all those questions. It's going to take the guesswork out of your health. And since I got mine done, my eating has changed, my exercise has changed, and I didn't realize how much better I could feel. And part of it, Dr. Jacalyn, was eating those foods that your body isn't designed to eat makes it harder on your systems. It makes it harder on your digestive system. It makes it harder on your circulation, and it just creates inflammation. So when you give your body what it was designed to process, it just makes things so much easier, and you're calmer and you have more energy. And I would just recommend at this point, everyone get their DNA done so that it answers all of your ultimate questions about your health.
Thank you, Annie. I have a question for you, and then we'll bring out our guest.
Sure.
So I'm really curious. I think I might know the answer, but so for me personally, I've totally changed the way I eat, and I'm still doing the intermittent fasting every single day. I got my blood work back great. My diseases are in remission, and people I love are eating anything and everything and have been. It's just like cookies, candies, cakes, this, that. And I'm like, boo-hoo, why can't I have any? But
Well,
so
quit boo-hooing. We really have to embrace the body that we were given, right? We were given this body as a gift, and we were also given the responsibility to take care of it. And so when you have that divine information as to what you need to do so that you can become your optimal self, why wouldn't you? And it really takes we're always comparing ourselves to other people. And the other thing is too, you don't know their journey. You don't know what's going on inside of them while they're eating the cookies and the candies, because that's the one thing, you just never know what it is that is going to cause that inflammation in your body. Like for me, there was foods that are perfectly healthy, like avocados and walnuts, that my body is not designed to break down. And it was just one of those things. And my husband actually looked at me and he said, when I told him about the avocados, and he said, see, now you know how I felt when you took away my sugar. Because he had an emotional attachment to sugar, and I had an emotional attachment to avocados because I thought they were so healthy. But if your body isn't designed to break them down, you're doing yourself more harm than good.
Thank you for sharing that. And I also cannot eat avocados or any nuts whatsoever, but that's another story for another day. We've got a great guest. Tell us how you met Vanessa.
Well, there's this fabulous community that's just emerging. It's called the Podcast Collaborative, and it's just an amazing way to meet like-minded people. And, it's sort of like what USA Global TV and Radio is doing. It's just expanding the conversation. It's gathering people together and having these really good conversations. And, I kind of poo-pooed it in the beginning, but then I'm starting to meet all these amazing people and just saying, can you come on our program and, talk about what you do to inspire other people regarding longevity.
All right. I'm super excited. We are going to be talking about menopause, which I know you know nothing about, but I can be the cheerleader for that. We're going to talk about natural cosmetics, and we're also going to talk about belly dancing, which I can't do. So let's welcome to this show Vanessa Nixon. She is a traditional naturopath. Hello, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so delighted to be here with you both today.
Oh, I'm so excited for you to be here. And I'm interested in hearing about the cosmetics.
I am too, actually. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your background. Obviously, these are three exciting topics and you have expertise in all of them. And I just love to know how you got started.
Thank you. That's a great question. So, as with many other healers and healthcare practitioners that I am associated with, my story began with my own healing journey of healing myself of chronic illness. So I grew up eating junk food. I grew up catching every cold that came around and taking antibiotics every time I got sick. And by the time I was 14 or 15, every cold that I caught was turning into bronchitis. It would go deep into my chest, and I was missing a lot of school. I wasn't able to focus on anything. It was just kind of a downward spiral of getting sick, taking about 8 weeks for this whole process of getting sick and then, taking antibiotics and recovery time. And I was getting sick probably 4 to 6 times a year. So, at 8 weeks each time, that was pretty much my entire life was spent being sick from about the age of 15 into my early 20s. And so it was really affecting my quality of life and my ability to focus on schoolwork, my ability to go out into the workforce, and affecting my relationships and really every area of my life. And then one day, a friend of mine noticed that I was taking antibiotics every day because by the time I was 20 or 21, I had been prescribed daily antibiotics ongoingly. And so I told him the story, and he asked me a question that nobody had ever asked me before, and I had never even asked myself. And that question was, is it helping? And when I thought about it, I realized no, it's not helping. In fact, it may even be making it worse or prolonging this chronic illness. And that question then prompted another series of questions, which were, okay, if this isn't working, is there something else? Are there other options? My mother was a nurse, and so I had grown up pretty deeply entrenched in the conventional medical model, and um, didn't know anything about nutrition, didn't know about any other options or other natural modalities. And so that one question just kind of opened my mind to thinking maybe there are other possibilities. Maybe there are other ways of addressing this, because for me, this way is not working. And my friend said, well, I see an herbalist when I am not feeling well, and I could introduce you if you'd like. And so, sure enough, in a week or so, I was sick again, and I went to see an herbalist, and she gave me a formula of various herbal medicines that were designed to treat respiratory illness. And I was completely well in 2 weeks, and that blew my mind. I was hooked. I had never been able to recuperate so quickly. And from that point on, I was just like a sponge. I just wanted to know everything there was to know about herbs, about natural medicine, about other modalities. And that's really where it started, was through that process of being exposed to options, learning about natural medicine, and then over the course, of the next several years, using those newfound modalities to heal myself of that chronic illness.
Wow, congratulations. I love that. A simple question. Is it working? And we never ask her. We just keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Exactly.
Amazing.
And antibiotics are so harmful to your digestive system. I just imagine. So,
Oh yeah, my immune system was totally shot. It was
yeah.
totally decimated, and so, I spent the next several years really rebuilding my gut flora, learning about nutritional healing, learning about which herbs and natural modalities could help support my body in rebuilding itself.
When you were on this journey, did your loved ones, your inner circle, did they support you? Or a lot of times there's that stick with the pharmaceuticals and what the doctors tell you versus going the other way.
Yeah, well, in my case, I was fortunate in that my family is very supportive. And even though, my mother was a nurse for many years, and very conventional minded, she's also just very supportive of everybody's individual path. And she was very skeptical. The rest of my family was very skeptical, but they were just willing to just kind of wait and see. Okay, there's Vanessa. She's always been the different one. Let's just see where she ends up this time. And I think that they were all really not only pleasantly surprised, but really happy to see that this path actually did bring me um, the optimal health that I was really wanting to. Not only was I able to cure myself of this chronic illness, but I was able to reach these optimal levels of health that I'd never had before.
Awesome.
That's a major gift in life. Major.
Yeah. So how are you helping women? And I think one of the topics we're going to talk about today, women that are going through perimenopause and menopause. So how do you apply your methods as a naturopath to help these women?
Yeah. So that kind of ties into the next part of my story, which was that when I was going through menopause, I had so many different things going on in my life, so many different changes and shifts that were happening. And what I find is that this is very, very common for women at this time of life. And within a period of 2 years, I turned 50. I went through menopause. I got divorced after 20 years of marriage. Two of my three daughters were moving out on their own. I was, looking at becoming an empty nester. I moved to a new town. I bought my first house on my own, and I restarted my career after having focused on raising my children for 20 years. And so all of those things were happening at the same time externally, that my body was changing internally. And having had 3 decades to focus on my health, I was coming into this phase of life, um, at a pretty high level of health and wellness. And what I saw around me were that a lot of my friends and clients didn't have that advantage. They were coming into this phase of life with health issues to begin with. And that made this time so much more challenging for them, and it made it more difficult and more stressful to deal with all of the other things that we as midlife women have to face and overcome and deal with on a daily basis. Um, the other thing that I realized made my transition through this period of life uh, much more comfortable was that I had spent years cultivating a really supportive network of women around me. And so I really felt like I had support. I had the support that I needed to help me through those, very challenging times. And so through all of those experiences, what I came to understand was that having support, and particularly having the support of other women who have gone through similar experiences, is so crucial for us, especially at this time of life, because there are so many stressful things going on. And I believe that in one way supposed to happen. It's an opportunity. These things are opportunities for us to be able to overcome these challenges, and then be able to go beyond them. And that's one of the reasons why I call menopause a spiritual initiation, is because we go through these challenges, these periods of initiation. And if we take these opportunities to look deeper, to look further, to do some introspection, then we are really able to bring out our gifts and our talents and our wisdom, all the wisdom that we've gained from all of our experience, and turn that into something that can be really impactful and could be really helpful, not only for ourselves and our families, but for the world in general. I think this is just a really powerful time. And if we are able to take these opportunities, and if we have the support that we need to help us overcome some of these hurdles that we might be facing at this time of life, then we can really make the next chapter of our lives the most vital, the most healthy, the most powerful chapter that we've ever had.
I really like that. Thank you. And I'm wondering, as we move into the next chapter, I love makeup, love it, love it. I've got high-end department store, I've got drugstore, but they all have one thing in common: a lot of really long words that I have no idea what they are. And I think I'm putting this on my face. I don't care if it was $500 or so. Tell us more about natural cosmetics.
Oh, that's a subject that's very near and dear to my heart. So thank you for asking about it. As I had mentioned, I started studying herbal medicine, as I was healing myself in my early 20s, and that study of herbal medicine and more natural lifestyles was what led me into looking at the things I was putting on my body, as well as what was going into
Mhm.
my body. And after studying herbs with a very well-known herbalist in Portland, Oregon, by the name of Cascade Anderson Geller, I really wanted to use this herbal, natural information and education that I had, but I wasn't yet ready to help people with their health. And so I decided to create a line of handcrafted herbal soaps and sell them at the farmers market in Vancouver, Washington, where I was living at the time. And then that grew into skincare products and face care products. And I sold at the farmers market for about 9 years, and it was really fun. I met a lot of people. My base of clientele grew. They were very loyal. And after a few years, I realized that I was getting the same comments and questions from my clients. And that was, you've got these wonderful herbal products, the soaps, the skincare, the facial care. We love it all. But what we're not really finding is a completely all natural cosmetic line of makeup that feels really healthy and pure and clean. And at that time, there really were not very many options out there. There were not many brands of completely natural makeup. And so I spent about a year in research and development to find out if I could create that line of makeup for my clients, because I really wanted to offer them something they felt really good about putting on their skin and that I knew was very pure and healthy for them. And I also love makeup. I love the creativity and the artistry of it, and how it's just a wonderful form of self-expression. And so it was really fun for me to be able to really dive into this and delve into this side of my business. And so I ended up coming up with this all mineral, loose powder mineral makeup line. And within 6 months of debuting that line, it became 90% of my sales. Everybody just really loved this line. And so I took that opportunity to streamline my products and just focus on the mineral makeup from that point on. And so really it was created as a way for women to be able to accentuate their beauty, to really love themselves up in a way that's healthy and in a way that helps them express themselves visually, and in a way that was very pure, very clean, and very healthy. And I had women with the most sensitive of skin in mind when I was creating this line and sourcing my ingredients. So it has a very pure ingredient base. It's just all natural minerals, and I've sourced those minerals really carefully, because what you find with mineral makeup is that people think that, oh, it's natural, it's mineral, that means it's clean and pure, and that's not always what it means. Most mineral makeups have minerals that are coated with synthetic colorants, FD&C, dyes, and lakes. And so I really had to do a lot of research and searching to source out the best ingredients and make sure that they came from very reputable companies. And so I've had the Natural Look mineral makeup line for about 20 years now. And as I said, I put a lot of that kind of on the back burner while I was raising my children. But now that I am focusing full time on my career, I have these three branches of my business: the natural beauty with the mineral makeup line, the natural health, and then also the natural movement, where I teach belly dance classes.
What an incredible story of inspiration for women all over the world.
And I want to jump in here before we start talking about belly dancing. From a health, and you talk about it as three different parts of your business, or three different businesses. What I don't know if women understand from a toxicity standpoint, that what we put on our skin gets absorbed into our bodies. And if that stuff that we put on our skin is toxic, then it causes our liver to have to try to break it down. Just like it would be like breathing in secondhand cigarette smoke. It's a toxin just like that. So we're putting these toxins, and the reason why I'm saying is this is to to emphasize why having natural makeup is so important. Because once we get those toxins on our skin, those toxins go into our body. Our liver has to process it and hopefully get rid of it. If not, it creates inflammation. I'm doing all this work with DNA analysis, and there are so many instances where women are really, really inflamed, and what they're being told to do is to reduce their toxic exposure. And I don't think women know to look in their medicine cabinets.
Absolutely. Yes. It's so important, as I mentioned, not only to think about your food and what you're consuming internally, but everything that goes on your body. And, women on average use around 20 different products on their bodies every day. And so it's really
Mm-hmm.
important to look at those ingredient lists and to know what those ingredients are and whether there's endocrine disruptors, there's, preservatives, there's synthetic fragrances, there's synthetic dyes. I mean, there's just so many things that
Mm-hmm.
we really need to be looking out for. And it can be a full-time job to be researching all of those things. And that's why I just really wanted to create something that was very pure and healthy so that women could trust that, this is a healthy product. And, I've done that research. So, I definitely encourage women to do their own research, but I delved really deeply into that so that people could feel confident and good about what they're putting on their skin.
And you're right. We want to look pretty. We
Mhm,
do. Confident that
mhm.
and we're going to be living for another what 40, 60 years. So.
Exactly, exactly. Got to take care of your body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I just want to
Absolutely.
share as someone who I have had so many allergies in my life, and many of them have been directly related to what I was putting on my scalp, what I was putting on my face. I had scalp psoriasis, facial eczema. Let me tell you, these are not pretty pictures. And it's so hard for the allergist to determine what it could possibly be. So I had to go full throttle and stop everything. All my hair fell out. It was like this long. So for people to just start off clean, that's what I'm suggesting. Start off clean with your products, and you will save yourself so much aggravation, pain, shame, humiliation, and frustration.
Yes, I agree. It's wonderful these days. I think that there are a lot of options because a lot of us are more aware of what we're putting into our bodies. There is a lot more
Mhm.
information out there. When I was first delving into these subjects in my early 20s, I didn't have the internet to help in my research. I would just go to the library and bring home every book that I could find on nutrition or herbs. And it was a lot more challenging to find that information then than it is now. And nowadays, the information is out there. It's just about discerning um, the good information from the misinformation. So but the information is there for us if we're ready to receive it.
Thank you
Right.
for
And
sharing that. I just want to segue a little bit in terms of we cover ourselves up, right? Like I love makeup. I'm certified as a makeup artist. I just love it. It's fun. It's fun to do it. But when it comes time to expose our skin and put ourselves out there, well, that's another story for some of us. And you actually are helping women take their power, take control by moving their body around. And even though it might feel awkward or oh, I don't want people looking at me, just do it for yourself. Can you tell us more about the belly dancing and how you started with that?
Absolutely. It's one of my favorite things to talk about. I've been a dancer all my life. I started tap and jazz when I was 5 years old or so. And I just really resonate with that form of movement. And I'm so happy that I did find that resonance at an early age because I do think that movement is a really foundational part of health. We're meant to move our bodies, and And we're all individual, so there are definitely different movement styles that are best for different people. But especially as women, I really find belly dance to be something that tends to resonate across the board for many, many women. And I think that's because through my study of belly dance and my experience over the decades, I came to belly dance in my early 20s. What I've learned is that traditionally it was a cultural dance that was created, performed, um, and actually tells a story of women. So it was only performed by women, it was performed only for women, and the different parts of the dance actually tell the story of a woman's life from childhood through coming of age, through motherhood, and then finally of the mature woman. And so the whole dance form is about women's empowerment, and each move is designed to help a woman's body, to support her body, to support her musculature, her organs, her skeletal system, to support her physical body and her, mental, emotional, spiritual body, to go through all of the transitions that her body goes through in her lifetime, from first menarche to pregnancy and postpartum, as well as menopause. And so I just find this beautiful art form to be so supportive of women, regardless of age, regardless of size, regardless of health. This is a very body positive women's empowerment dance. And so that's one of the things that I find so powerful about it. And I found I was a very timid young woman. I was very shy throughout my childhood. And as I started belly dancing, I realized that I was becoming more confident in myself. I was feeling very empowered in who I was and who I was becoming. And I remember at the very beginning, I would go to belly dance class with like 3 layers of clothing on. I'd have like a unitard, and then I'd have some little dance top, and then I'd have t-shirt and leggings on top of that. And about 6 months into classes, one of my classmates turned and looked at me and said, "Do you remember what you used to wear to class when you first started dancing with us?" And I thought back and I realized, oh, yeah, I would wear about 3 layers of clothing. And then I looked in the mirror, and here I am 6 months later with just like a little sports bra and little tiny shorts. And I hadn't even noticed that transition, but I just felt so much more in touch with my body. And it's not that I ever disliked my body, it was just I was very modest and I was not in touch with the various parts of my body. And with belly dance, you work on muscle groups that you just never even knew that you had. And it puts you in touch with your body in a way that you haven't been before. And I see this progression of empowerment and confidence in my students as well. I find I work with a lot of women who don't even want to look at their bodies in the mirror. They don't even want to look at themselves. They're so detached from their bodies. And after a few weeks or months of belly dancing, they're stripped down, they're loving looking at themselves, they're seeing parts of themselves that they have never acknowledged or noticed before, and they just start to fall in love with themselves. And that's really the reason why I love belly dance, is because it's just such an empowering way for us to fall in love with ourselves and our lives, and do it in a way that supports our health as well.
It's the full package, it sounds like. You know what I'm going to ask you next, right?
I think I do.
Should we take a quick break, or are you ready? Oh, actually,
Oh,
we
I'm
can't
ready.
take a break. Oh, you're ready. Good. Good. 'Cause we can't take a break anyway. All right. I'm going to spotlight you. Take
Okay.
it away.
So I'm just going to do a quick little belly dance, and I hope that you'll join me as well. You don't even have to spotlight me. You can be on camera too while you're joining me. But anyway, um, so belly dance. One of the great things about it is that it isolates different muscle groups. And so you can work on all the different areas of your body. And so a great way to start is to start at the head and work your way down. So starting with your head, just doing a gentle head roll, nice and slow, is a great way to kind of warm up and do some nice deep belly breaths and then reverse and roll your head the other way. And then go to your shoulders and start rolling your shoulders. And you can roll them back and you can roll them forward and then roll one shoulder at a time. And allow those rolls to be as big as you want them to be. And this is a really wonderful way to open up your chest, because as women, a lot of times we hold our chests very tightly and our shoulders. And so this is a great way to loosen up and really just start lessening some tension. And then I'm going to put my camera back a little bit so that you can see me a little bit better. And then as you're rolling your shoulders, you can kind of start to allow your arms to flow out to the side in some snake arm movements. And really just allowing the flow through your body is what's important, just allowing the energy to flow. And then another thing we can do is go down to the waist. And I don't know if you can see me all of me, but I'm going to back up here as far as my mic will allow me to. And I'm just going to show you how you can move your hips in a horizontal motion from side to side. This is one of my favorite moves, is called the Amaya. And it's sort of a figure 8 movement. You can also do circles, hip circles. And these are great to just release tension in your spine, in your hips, in your upper thighs. Doing figure 8s is also something that can really just support all of these pelvic muscles that are, holding and supporting all of your organs, your reproductive organs. And so it's really wonderful to be able to support all of those, your pelvic floor, to strengthen and tone it while doing something fun and moving your body and getting the energy flowing. So that was just a really quick tidbit. It's more fun with music, and it's more fun when you've got more room and more time. But those are some little tidbits of ways you can move your body in a manner that your body is designed to move as a woman.
I know we're just shifting the paradigm totally about how people view belly dancing. The story that you said, that it takes a woman through her entire life, it reflects that journey. That's amazing. I never knew.
Yeah, most people don't know. And, belly dance, when it came to the US, it was very sexualized, because it was in the early 1900s when belly dance really became popular in the US. And people just were not used to seeing bare midriffs. And also the rhythm, the Middle Eastern rhythm of music, one of them is called belody. And so people heard belody and they saw bare bellies. And that's how it came to be known as belly dance. It was actually a misnomer that came from a mistranslation of belody.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, so it's really interesting. But in the traditional culture, it was very sensual, but it wasn't a sexual dance. And that's unfortunate that in this country it's had that connotation, but it's really about women's empowerment. It's really about enjoying the sensuality of your body and really just being able to love and support yourself in a way that's healthy and natural.
Thank you. I really enjoyed that. I was doing it with you, and I feel actually lighter right now. I noticed how stiff
Mm,
my neck is, but otherwise I feel really good. And I went to
yeah.
your website. You can sign up right there to take the
Yes.
classes with you.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's also just really fun. It has all of those wonderful health benefits, but it's also
Mhm.
just really fun to dance in community with other women and be able to move your energy, release tension. So yeah, it's a
Now, where can
wonderful.
we get the cool outfits?
Oh yeah, that's a whole other subject that we could spend hours talking about.
You have your designer line, right, Vanessa? You're
I
designing your
don't
own
have
clothes.
I don't have my own line, but one day, yeah.
Then we'll have you back on. You can talk about it.
Yes.
I
Yes.
just think it's very interesting that it's for women, for women for each other.
Right. Yes.
Um, that aspect of it, I think, is just very beautiful. I really,
Yeah. Yeah, that goes back to just that need for women to be in community, to hold each other and support each other in a really loving, healing space. And I
Mhm.
think belly dance is a really wonderful way that women can do that.
I'd like to add that I think, especially for me, I'm always in my masculine energy, but a number of women are. And when you start doing that,
Mhm.
the feminine side comes out, and you could just do it for yourself, just to
Mm.
re-center yourself, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah, we all have a masculine and feminine side, and especially when we're in business, that's when our masculine side can be really helpful, but we need that balance. We really do, and absolutely belly dance is one of the ways that you can tap into your feminine energy and bring that out and help to balance yourself.
That's
Well, I've
amazing.
really enjoyed this, and
Mm.
I know there's so much more to learn
Oh,
from you. I hope you'll come back.
I would love to come back. Absolutely.
And we'd
and
love to have you on our show for women. It's a show for women, by women, about women. It's called a woman's prerogative. I
Oh,
keep trying to get
there
wonderful.
you
Annie on there, but she's as a guest. Annie, maybe you'll come and visit us.
go. I'm too argumentative.
That makes for good TV, though.
Yeah. Oh, Vanessa, just thank you. You know what? I really appreciate all the things that you're doing for women, from the
Mhm,
cosmetics to, getting them through that mid period to get to the other good stuff.
mhm.
All the good things you're just doing for women in general. So I just want to thank you so much for what you contribute and what you're doing.
Oh, thank you. I love it. I feel like that's one of the reasons that I'm here. One of the gifts that I have is to support other women and just be in community. I learn so much from my clients from being in community with other women, and I think it's just a win-win situation all the way around.
I just feel like your story, it just reminds me of Shark Tank. That's one of the network shows that I'll watch on occasion. But, at home, taking care of your children, major life changes. You're there selling your soaps at the farmer's market. And, at that point, is it a hobby? Is it going to turn into a business? And now look at you.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're where we all want to be. So keep up the great
Oh,
work and keep
thank you.
inspiring us.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm going to spotlight you. Could you please share your contact information for people who are listening on the radio or they're not able to read the banner, and who should reach out to you?
Absolutely, yes. So, my website is herbsofgracehealingarts.com. You could reach me at vanessa@herbsofgrace.com. And I really love helping women who are anywhere along their menopausal journey from perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. Women who know that there's something more out there for them, but they might just be feeling stuck with health issues. Women who really want to be supported with natural methods and modalities through this time of their lives, and who are really ready for big changes, big, wonderful, amazing, exciting changes in their life, and want to do that deep work and make that powerful transformation.
Vanessa, I have you on Spotlight. Is it possible for a novice like me to start with the belly dancing when you have all these experienced people who've been coming for a long time?
Absolutely. I have a beginning class as well as an intermediate class, and I have absolute beginners in my beginning class. And in fact, those are some of my favorite students because it's just so wonderful to see how women open up when they first start belly dancing. So absolutely, anywhere along the range of abilities, I definitely encourage you to at least try it out. Give it a try um, and just have fun with it.
Well, thank you. I look forward to moving my figure eights in the class and learning more. So thank you.
Yeah, and shimmy those hips.
Ooh, yes.
There you go.
I'm excited. Well, thank you again for being here. And please do go ahead and book in on any of our shows, and we'd love to have you back.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks. It was a delightful conversation. I've enjoyed it.
Thank you,
you.
Vanessa.
Thank you. Bye for now. Thank you so much, Annie, for bringing her to the platform. Once again, another fabulous person, and I seriously am going to sign up. I love also supporting our guests and the things that they're doing too.
And, just for all of our listeners out there, Dr. Jacalyn does use a standing desk, so I would just tune in to catch her doing belly dancing.
I'm always standing, yes.
She's always standing, so, look forward to seeing some of her belly dancing moves.
Yeah, some of those moves.
Oh, little hair, little arms.
I think it's also good. I forgot to ask Vanessa, but I would think, I know you don't know about menopause, but below the stomach, and clearly Vanessa had none of this. Sometimes we get that little blob. It's like a blob. It's like stuck it there. I don't know anything about this, but I would think when you start dancing and moving that maybe it's going to get the hint to get off, get out.
Well, it's something interesting that she said, that it puts women in tune with that part of their bodies. And, this may be too much information, but the reason why I don't jump into the menopause community discussions much is because I had a total hysterectomy when I was 31. And, none of my parts actually worked. So they were all taken out. So I had been on hormone replacement since then. But I remember I was taking a Pilates class and I was trying to do a particular movement that involved engaging a particular part of my abs, and I couldn't do it. And it was a one-on-one Pilates class, and the instructor asked me what was wrong. And I told her, I said, I can't get my abs to do this movement. And she's like, you just haven't communicated with that part of your body lately. And I said, well, I have this big old hysterectomy scar, and they told me that they cut the muscle and there's nothing but scar tissue down there. And she's like, oh, no. You just need to establish a whole new relationship with that part of your body. And that's what I see this belly dancing doing, is putting women more in touch with their bodies. And for those that went through surgeries like mine and thinking there was nothing but scar tissue down there, that would be a really good way to get back in touch with your entire body.
Oh, Annie, thank you so much for sharing that. And thinking as such a young woman to go through that.
We all have our journeys, and that was meant to be. But, when she was talking about women getting in tune with their body and back in touch with their bodies, women that have been through different struggles like that, we tend to ignore certain parts that we have trauma to. Mm-hmm. And I think this would be like a type of healing.
It sounds like it for sure. Well, I'm going to find out and I'll let you know.
All right.
All right. I'm going to move on to Pet Psychic Amina. Her show is coming up next. So Annie, how can people reach you? And I'll put up your other banner about your special offer.
Yes.
Whoops, that's not it.
There you go. Folks can get in touch with me. The simplest, easiest way is just by email, yourtotalbody@yahoo.com. I'm really emphasizing folks getting their DNA done, and I'm going to offer $50 off my assessment because there is a lot of time involved with doing the assessment. Where this would come into play with what Vanessa was talking about in the cosmetics, by looking at your DNA, you can tell how well you detoxify or methylate. And if you're putting toxins on your skin, everything from your eyeshadow to your lipstick to your cleansers and your exfoliators and everything, this would be a really good way to see how well your body can get rid of those toxins, and to encourage you to take advantage of Vanessa's natural cosmetics. I've been using natural cosmetics for years once I found out how many toxins there were involved. And it was mind-blowing. It really was. And, like Vanessa said, if you just trust a brand, then it takes the guesswork out of what you use. It's the same thing with your DNA. Once you get your DNA done, it takes the guesswork out of what foods you should be eating, what exercises, you need to, maybe belly dancing is in your exercise DNA. Just saying.
I have a calling, I know. So
I know. I'm just saying.
Well, thank you so much. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your weekend, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
You too. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much to each and every one of you who's watching or listening. I really do appreciate it. If you're over on our YouTube channel, please do subscribe. We'd love to have you. As I mentioned before, we have currently about 26 shows every week. They're all scheduled in advance. It's a live broadcasting platform, and I'm adding some new shows. So very quickly, I just want to run through some of the shows with you before I go over to see Amina. Okay, so we have the Epiphany Process, which is the art of creating mental health wealth. We have a woman's prerogative, which I mentioned. We have What's Trending with Kathy Fulton. Our show coming up next, Amina Pet Psychic. Aging Gracefully with Humor. We also have Global Homes and Gardens. We have the United Kitchens, Adversity to Awesome, The Power of Etiquette and Manners, Authentic Achievements, Who's Listening Game Show, The Talking Heads Panel, Wild at Heart, Bonfire Talks, Real Authentic Uncut. That's our men's program. We also have The Wise Ones, The Corner Bookstore, The Business Talk Show, The Listening Mentor, a new show about Christianity that's coming up, Leadership of the Heart, the United Kingdom News and Culture, and the Film and Music Show. And when I'm not here on this platform broadcasting, which folks, I'm pretty much here all the time, I am a certified life and career coach, certified meditation instructor, and I'm also a certified yoga instructor. And I've also published 2 books in the last year. Both of them became Amazon #1 bestsellers. Behind the Green Screen, which is my story of how and why I left my corporate career in 2020, gave up my 6-figure income, and started this broadcasting platform with no experience. The second is Adversity to Awesome. It's 12 chapters. Each chapter is someone else's story. The first chapter is my story of something that happened to me decades ago that somebody could be in jail right now, but I didn't do anything about it. And I share with people in the hopes of inspiring other people to come forward with their stories. And finally, a new children's book that I have coming out is first of 7, and it's to teach parents and children how to listen at an elevated level. I am the listening mentor. That's my designation. I teach people how to listen at an elevated level, and I certify people through the power of listening. And each of these beautiful animal creatures represents a person, a human being who has been certified as an elevated listener. And they are helping me tell the story of how we can listen to each other at a higher level to facilitate inner peace and world peace. So thank you again for being here. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you, Annie. We hope to see you on Pet Psychic Amina right after this. Bye for now.